Today, we're diving into the stories of 20 black actors who once stood at the summit of Hollywood, lighting up our screens, winning our hearts and awards, becoming household names. Now, for reasons ranging from battles with addiction, loud and public stances, controversies no one saw coming, to the invisible hand of industry bias, these stars have faced the harsh reality of being turned away by Hollywood itself. Some of these journeys are scandalous, some are heartbreaking, and others are filled with resilience you can't ignore. Ready to get deep? Let's meet the legendary talents Hollywood forgot, but you won't. First up, Orlando Brown. Remember Eddie Thomas from That's So Raven? Energetic, hilarious, the kind of star you couldn't help but root for. But after the show shut the doors in 2007, Orlando's life spiraled.
Disney Channel star is busted again right here in Las Vegas. Police tell us that Orlando Brown was arrested Monday for narcotics possession.
Multiple arrests, from narcotics and DUIs to domestic disputes and burglary, each headline stacking up and casting a shadow over his natural talent. Addiction got the best of him. Major studios turned away. The risks were too high, the reputation too shaky. Yet in scattered interviews, there's a glimmer of hope, a man working to rebuild and rise again. But for now, those Disney days remain a distant echo of what could have been. Next, Stacey Dash, unforgettable as Diane in the teen phenomenon Clueless. After a few more quiet gigs, she became infamous for her outspoken commentary on Fox News.
I used my platform to exercise my First Amendment right as an American citizen to say who I am choosing to vote for.
Crossing lines both political and personal. Her takes, controversial opinions about race, culture, and even black history, sparked outrage across communities and cost her dearly. When the uproar quieted, studios had already closed the door. Stacey later admitted regret, trying to reclaim her place, but the skills that made her a star in Clueless have struggled to find a new spotlight. Then there's Jussie Smollett, who once captivated us as Jamal Lyon on Empire.
According to Smollett, he was walking the streets of Chicago a few weeks ago at 2 a.m., trying to get a Subway sandwich, when he was beaten up by two white guys. And not just any two white guys. These guys recognized Smollett from Empire, and then they beat him up while shouting homophobic and racist slurs at him. Then they threw a noose around his neck, poured bleach on him, and yelled, "This is MAGA country."
Everyone was floored when he claimed to be the victim of a hate-fueled attack. But as details emerged and the story unraveled, the truth became a sensational scandal. Accusations of staging his own assault, criminal charges, a revoked role, and courtroom drama. Despite an overturned conviction in 2024, Hollywood still remembers the fallout. Jussie's tried reinventing himself as a director, but the trust lost in that media firestorm has kept leading roles out of reach. Monique, an Oscar winner for Precious, a comedic force, fearless and real.
First, I would like to thank the Academy for showing that it can be about the performance and not the politics.
After that Oscar, you'd expect her career to skyrocket. But Monique spoke up about contracts and fair pay, refusing to promote for free, calling out major Hollywood figures for blackballing her. She stood against systemic underpayment and sued Netflix for discrimination. The legal battle eventually ended, and fences were mended, but years of industry silence cost her dearly. Even as doors reopen, Monique's story is a bold testament to the costs of demanding respect in an industry slow to change. Terrence Howard, the original James Rhodey Rhodes in Iron Man, nominated, admired, and then suddenly replaced.
You are literally, it's an unhealthy space, and so eventually you're going to go too far.
He spoke candidly about pay cuts, legal troubles, and a reputation for being difficult. Battles with ex-wives and tax authorities became more frequent than box office hits. He's since sued networks for lost wages and found work in smaller productions, fighting to reclaim his name in a world all too ready to move on after the headlines fade. Cuba Gooding Jr. Who could forget the exuberant "Show me the money" from Jerry Maguire? An Oscar win that should have meant a journey to the very top. Instead, a string of middling films, and ultimately, a tidal wave of accusations about misconduct and harassment crashed down. Though most charges were reduced or settled, the court of public opinion was swift, and Cuba's opportunities vanished. He's since taken on indie projects, seeking a second chance, but still navigating the aftershocks. Gary Dourdan, Warwick Brown on CSI personified cool. But behind the scenes, arrests for drugs, altercations, bankruptcy, and legal problems nearly derailed everything. Even though his official exit from CSI was just the end of a contract, the chaos afterward pushed Hollywood away. Gary's found work in indie films and TV, speaking honestly about addiction and recovery, but the golden age of his network fame has yet to return. Isaiah Washington once commanded the screen as Dr. Preston Burke on Grey's Anatomy. But one heated exchange on set, stained by a homophobic slur, spiraled into headlines, apologies, and ultimately dismissal from one of television's biggest shows.
We love gay. We love gay. We do. We do.
No.
Yes.
We love gay. I want to be gay.
Despite what the press says, we love gay.
Gay man, dress me, please.
Thank you.
We love gay.
Attempts to return included a brief guest spot and a role on The 100. A decent gig, but never the same stature. Hollywood's memory is long, and the industry rarely forgives such public missteps. Wesley Snipes, a name synonymous with cool action, unforgettable as Blade. But legal trouble, specifically years of unpaid taxes, led to prison and a shattered public image. Hollywood rumors swirled about his attitude and on-set conflicts, making the climb back even harder. After his release, Wesley landed a few notable roles, but the star power never quite reignited. He remains a cult favorite, a hero to many, but no longer the headline act. Loren Tate, talented, magnetic, but always underrated.
Hey, won't you give my homeboy his change?
I don't want any trouble. Just get out.
Can't stand y'all.
I feel sorry for your mother.
What you say about my mama?
His early work in Love Jones and Menace to Society promised superstardom. Yet mainstream roles dried up, often due to Hollywood's habit of recycling familiar parts and hesitancy to give black actors diverse leading opportunities. Lorenz chose projects with real impact, stepping away from stereotyped roles, building respect on TV and continuing to inspire, even if mainstream credits are fewer. Keke Palmer, an unstoppable child star from Akeelah and the Bee to major projects like Nope and animated hits. She's never shied away from speaking the truth about colorism, typecasting, or the difficulties of breaking free of childhood fame. Keke launched her own platform, KeyTV, and racked up Emmys, proving she can build her own table when Hollywood won't offer a seat. Tisha Campbell, irresistibly funny as Gina on Martin and a sitcom mainstay through the 90s and 2000s.
It makes me so proud. I've been in the business for 43 years, since I was 3 years old.
As the offers dwindled, thanks in part to ageism and shifting industry priorities, she remained busy with supporting roles and guest spots, always candid about the realities of the business and her perseverance through personal struggles. Darius McCrary, forever Eddie Winslow from Family Matters, found himself pigeonholed by typecasting, struggling to break free from that one role. Legal troubles, including arrests for unpaid child support, eclipsed headlines about his work. Yet he's kept producing, acting, and pushing for change on his own terms, determined not to let fame fade him out. Brandy Norwood, multi-talented singer and actress, the icon behind Moshe, who disappeared only to return stronger.
As teenagers, we were both very competitive, and we didn't remember what it was like to be together.
Whether hosting TV, starring in Netflix and Disney hits, or returning as Cinderella, Brandy's had her share of setbacks. But her voice, figuratively and literally, still resonates. She's chronicled her comeback through music, film, and memoir, proving that fame can evolve with time and tenacity. Tyrese Gibson, famous for his Fast and Furious role, yet haunted by viral meltdowns and high-profile online feuds.
The man that wake up every day to focus on one thing.
Custody battles and public disputes became memes but also marred his industry reputation. Despite setbacks, Tyrese is determined to keep moving, working on music and films while confronting deep challenges both publicly and privately. Taye Diggs, the heartthrob of romantic dramas in the 90s and 2000s. Nowadays, though his rom-com reign has faded, Diggs thrives on TV, on stage, and in fresh creative projects. The landscape of film has changed, and so have the roles available. But Taye's flexibility and talent keep him present, even if his leading man days in movies are rare. Marcus T. Paulk, miles from Moshe, faced the common challenge for child actors, breaking free from the shadow of an early role. With Hollywood reluctant to grant reinvention, Marcus found success away from the spotlight, focusing on music and entrepreneurship while quietly nurturing creativity in new industries. Anthony Anderson, uproarious star of Blackish, saw his run dimmed by damaging allegations, despite no criminal charges. He's pivoted from sitcoms to hosting and producing, showing that even when doors close, new avenues for laughter and storytelling remain. Jaleel White, the face, the voice, the swagger, and the snort of Steve Urkel. That signature character overshadowed everything else, making it hard for both studios and fans to see different possibilities. But Jaleel never stepped away, thriving in voice roles, game shows, and streaming hits, proving it's possible to redefine yourself, even if the old "did I do that?" catchphrase lingers.
Can I do that?
And Cheryl Lee Ralph, a career spanning decades, from Dreamgirls to Abbott Elementary. Long overlooked, Cheryl's patience and persistence finally paid off with an Emmy win and newfound recognition. She is living proof that true talent endures and that flowers eventually arrive, even if they take decades to bloom. Each of these artists built legacies that still spark hope, debate, and a demand for change. Their stories remind us Hollywood may shut doors, but real talent and real drive cannot be contained forever. Who do you think deserves that big comeback? Drop your pick below. Let's talk about it. And if you want more untold truths and powerful journeys, be sure to subscribe and stick around for the next deep dive. See you on the next video.